Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing a new kind of video. I did briefly mention that I do want to still wrap up all of the movies and TV shows and anime and games that I that I watch or play in a month. I also wanted to combine it and make it into kind of like a monthly favorites video. So the beginning portion will be me reviewing everything that I watched and played, and then the ending portion will be any kind of favorite things that I had for the month. I don't know about you guys, but I know I need things to cheer me up. So I thought The Bright Side was a really good name for these videos. Despite all of the awful things happening in the world and in my personal life, these are some things that have been able to bring me joy. So hopefully they can bring you joy too. New video series. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys like the title. And I'm really excited to kind of branch out a little bit and do these, but have them separate from my monthly wrap-ups. So here we go. So the first show that I watched this month is the first season of Bridgerton on Netflix. I have talked about watching it before, but Andrew and I pretty much binged the show in, I want to say 2 days. We were at my parents' house on Christmas when it came out, and then when my mom went to the hospital and we went back to our apartment right before New Year's, we started watching it, and oh, so good. I really, really love the show. I think it was such a great adaptation. I am really glad that they did change that one scene from the book. Not that I felt like it was done much better in the show, but at least they improved upon it a little bit. They cast the show perfectly. Penelope and Eloise are like by far my favorite characters. Both of them were just excellent and I loved following them. And I also really enjoyed Colin, and I'm so happy that we're going to be getting a second season. And also just the fashion and the aesthetic of the show was like a dream. It's so beautiful. I loved all of Daphne's clothing. Everything is so like pastel and just really pretty and kind of princessy, and oh my gosh, stunning. I know that the show is not perfect. There is a lot of valid critique about it, and while I do totally like recognize that, I personally did really enjoy the show, and I am very excited that it's continuing on for another season. Then another one that I'm kind of late to the game on, Andrew and I watched The Queen's Gambit on Netflix, and that was super excellent. I was a little bit concerned that I wasn't gonna love it after the first episode, but I would say that was like by far the weakest episode in the series. Everything just got a lot better from there. And Andrew and I were both talking about how the show had the opportunity to be really dark at some points, but it never went like fully there. Our main character is someone that does struggle with addiction. She's had a really tough life, and there are some really low and dark moments for her, but things could have been a lot worse, I think, in another show, like portrayed a lot more in depth. And this really, like, the main focus of it was on chess and her love of chess. And I think it was so well done. It was like a masterpiece of a TV show. I was definitely rooting for her the entire time. Like, I just wanted her to win every single competition. And I definitely felt like very stressed out when she was going to do some of the competitions because you just didn't know like what was gonna happen, and I loved it. And I also really liked the fashion in this one too. Then we've obviously been keeping up to date with WandaVision. I'm so excited about this show. I love Scarlet Witch. She has always been one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Universe. She's actually my second favorite character after Spider-Man. I've read just about every comic where Scarlet Witch plays a prominent role in the storyline, so I was especially excited when this show got announced. And I did read the classic story that is about Scarlet Witch and Vision getting married and all of that, so I've been just waiting for this. Like, my young self is shocked that I'm getting to see this on screen, but so excited. I obviously don't want to talk about spoilers if you haven't seen anything yet, but it does tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think that the threads that they've decided to explore, and like, how do I say this non-spoilery? They've tied things together really nicely. They have brought people in that make a lot of sense to be there. I am so excited every Friday. I'm like, yes, new episode of WandaVision. And I normally don't talk about a TV show before I watch an entire season, but I felt like I wanted to just put that out there because I feel like people will be like, are you watching WandaVision? And I'm like, I am 100% watching WandaVision. I've watched all of the episodes of WandaVision more than one time. So next is one that is completely outside of my wheelhouse of normal things that I watch. But back in December, I went on like a reality show binge and I watched all 6 seasons of Southern Charm in like 2 weeks, a week. I think it was more like a week. I just like got addicted to the show. I don't think that they are good people, but they are very entertaining to watch. So it was just like a kind of trashy show that I just got really invested in. And season 7 started premiering in December, so I ended up purchasing that season so that I could watch it in real time as it was airing. I think that this season was like nowhere near as strong as the previous seasons, and a big reason is because probably the 3 people that I liked most decided to leave the show, so they weren't on it this time around, and they were really the ones that I was most invested in. They have brought new people in for this season, and one of them is Vanita Aspen, who I really enjoy on Instagram. She's an influencer there and I've been following her for a while, but she wasn't as central of a character as I would have liked her to have been. So I do think they did a good job about touching upon the most like topical societal issues that we are facing in the year of 2020 and now 2021 too. Maybe it was also because I wasn't able to binge it, but I wasn't as excited to watch the next episode as I had been in the past. So it was fine. I'm sure that I'll still watch it when the next season comes out, but it's not great. I can admit that. Andrew and I have also been watching a lot of 2 game shows in particular. So my mom really loves game shows and we have been taking kind of like turns. So one week Andrew and I stay at my parents' house and take care of my mom, and then one week my brother stays at my parents' house and takes care of my mom. So while we are there, we tend to watch a lot of game shows because my mom tapes them like crazy. So it's been really nice to catch up on a lot of Jeopardy. They always have like a giant stack of episodes, so that has been so much fun. I've been so glad. We actually even got to see like the last episodes of Alex Trebek and then transfer into the new episodes with Ken Jennings, who I think is doing an incredible job hosting. Like, I think that he is capturing the spirit of Alex and he pays tribute to him in every single episode that I've seen so far. And I also think that he has adopted that beautiful personality that Alex had, where he is encouraging towards contestants. He's interested in their stories. He's never harsh when he tells someone that a response is incorrect. He's always encouraging. I think that it's been a good transition, and I'm hoping that Ken will get to take over permanently because I do think he's doing a good job. And then the other game show that we've been watching a lot of is Masterminds, and Ken Jennings was actually on that show too. But Masterminds is a show that is kind of similar to Jeopardy in the sense that it is a trivia game show, and it's not like one of those really long drawn out shows where you just have to like rely on luck. It's partially the intelligence of the contestant and whether the questions align with their wealth of knowledge. On every episode they have 3 challengers and then 3 masterminds, and they compete with one another to see who will go on to the next round. So then like someone will get eliminated, then they have a second round, and then in the second round they'll determine who's going to move on to the final round. The final challenger and the final mastermind have to answer the same questions, and if the challenger is able to defeat the mastermind and answer more questions correctly, they'll win $10,000 and they get the opportunity to come back the next day. And if they're able to beat any of the masterminds 3 times, then they themselves can take over as a mastermind. Just a really cool premise. I don't think I've actually seen that happen just yet, but there are a couple of masterminds that seem to be there all the time, like Muffy, the historian. She is there all the time. I really like her. She is super intelligent. Then we have Jonathan, the chess wizard. We have Ken. I forget what his tagline is. There's a girl named Ariana who is the headmaster, and she is like barely on the show, but she's also super smart, so I would love if she got rotated in a little bit more. And then there's one other woman too. She's been on like 1 episode that I've seen, but she also seems smart, so I'm all for the ladies on this show. But yeah, so this is the only game show that I feel like is like comparable to Jeopardy. I really enjoy it and it's been fun to watch. I talked about Masterminds for way longer than I expected to. And then finally, Andrew and I also watched the majority of the first season of Star Trek, the original series. On New Year's Eve, we decided to do a puzzle together together and we had Star Trek on in the background. I have to say, like, these old episodes are so goofy and cringy and really not doing it for me. So we've been really slow getting through the show. I'm actually even at the point where, like, I kind of want to see the Trouble with Tribbles episode and then I might be ready to move on to the movies and then get into like the shows that I actually want to watch, like Deep Space Nine and Voyager. But yeah, so we kind of like marathoned a lot of the season while we were doing the puzzle, which was nice because it's really hard to focus on like just Star Trek, the original series. As sad as it makes me to say that, because my dad really enjoys that show, but I've actually been showing him some episodes of Next Generation and he has agreed that they are a lot better, and I'm glad about that. Moving into the next category, which is movies. I'm going to start with something that is not a movie, but it is the length of a movie, and that is Jenny Nicholson's YouTube video dissecting The Vampire Diaries. She talks about all 8 seasons of the show, and it is very in-depth. This video is about 2.5 hours long and she really gets to the bare bones of things. It's very funny. I love Jenny Nicholson. I think that she is so good at critiquing things and I always really look forward to her videos. Even if she's ripping apart something that I love, she just does it in such a funny way, and there's never been a time where I've been like, she's picking on a thing that I like. I'm always like, I can totally see what she's saying, but I still love it. And oftentimes she still loves it too. Like, she can point out things that are wrong, but be like, I get that this is bad for these reasons, but also it's really fun. Having just watched all of the Vampire Diaries last year, I really enjoyed her video, like talking about everything, and I did not know that there's a Vampire Diaries computer game that looks really bad, but it was funny to see her footage. And then really quick, I rewatched To All the Boys I Loved Before and P.S. I Still Love You. I actually watched them with my mom. She had never seen them before and she seemed to really enjoy them. So I'm really hoping to watch the third one with her once that comes out. I obviously love these. They're very good. I've always talked about how much I enjoy them. I don't feel like I really have anything new to say about them. Then moving on to anime. So Andrew and I have also been watching more anime than we have in the past year, which I'm really, really enjoying. So the first thing that we watched was Violet Evergarden on Netflix, which is one that I had been putting off because I knew that there was a strong storyline involving like a war and things with the military, which I never tend to like. That's like the way to turn me off from any show, is say that it's like heavily based on war or military, and I'm like out. I have heard how beautiful it is, so I wanted to see the animation, and then I was also really glad to see that while that is a big factor of the story, it definitely has like other layers to it, and it focuses more on our main character, Violet, who used to be like a weapon for the military. So after the war has ended, she gets a job being an auto memory doll, which means that she writes letters for people. They tell her what it is that they want to say to someone, and then she writes it into a letter for them to share. In the beginning, she obviously struggles with that because she doesn't fully understand emotions, but as she gets closer to people and as she learns more about human emotion, she does a great job writing the letters, and the animation was absolutely gorgeous. The one thing that I will say is that it is really sad. So it starts out like kind of nice and you're like, oh, this is cute, and then there just got to one point where it was like, I just cried every single episode. Like, there was not a single episode that we watched where I wasn't crying, especially the one with the girl and her mother. I think I cried for like an hour, even like after it ended. It was so sad. So just know that going into it, this is not like, I mean, it does have some feel-good moments, but it will also really make you cry. But I really enjoyed it. I think that there's also an OVA, and since the Netflix series ended on such a cliffhanger, I think I will be seeking that out soon because I'm curious to see how that story continues. Then we watched Room Camp, which is a super short anime. Andrew and I love Laid Back Camp. We watched that a couple of years ago, and they have since come out with Room Camp, which is, I think it's like 10, like 3 or 4 minute episodes, 10-minute episodes. It's really short, and it focuses on the club of girls who go camping. So it follows this group of girls who are just obsessed with camping and going to Mount Fuji to camp. This one, the animation is so good. So there's like literally no plot at all except that these girls like camping. It's just very slice of life, but it's really like therapeutic and nice to watch. It's just like people being friends and hanging out and going camping. So no drama at all. There was one episode where someone lost something, and that was like the most dramatic thing that has happened in the first season, this and the second season so far. But it's super, super cute. I really enjoyed it. So the show is actually based on an actual campsite that's by Mount Fuji, and if you look on, I think it was on Crunchyroll, they did side-by-side comparisons of animations from Laid Back Camp and like real life photos of this campsite at Mount Fuji, and they were like identical, like so beautiful. And you also learn a lot about camping from watching the show, and it's just fun. Like, I like it. Andrew likes it. It's great. And then the last anime that we finished watching in January is Miss Koizumi Loves Ramen. This one also really didn't have a plot. It's just about a girl who likes ramen, and she pretty much knows every single ramen place in Japan and what they specialize in, and she's been to all of them multiple times, and that's like all that she'll eat. It wasn't great. It was fine. Like, I mean, we watched the whole thing, we didn't stop watching it, but it wasn't like anything that I would recommend really. There's also a character in it that is obsessed with Koizumi and kind of follows her places and like tries to go and eat ramen with her and like really wants to cook ramen for her. It was creepy. Yeah. She clearly like is in love with Koizumi, which it would have been nice if that would have like developed into some kind of relationship, but like Koizumi was not into her. So every single time that she would be like, let's do this, Koizumi would be like, no. They would often end up together a lot of times, and she would also get really jealous when Koizumi would happen to run into any of her friends and like eat with them instead of her. So she was just kind of like an annoying character, but it was fun to see all of the different kinds of ramen, and they were clearly really into ramen. I also really like ramen, so that was fun. I would not say like go out of your way to watch this one. Then moving into games. So Andrew and I played the Scott Pilgrim video game. It just got re-released digitally for the Switch, and there was a company that was releasing like a very limited run of physical games, so we did pre-order one of those too. But we actually played this one on Andrew's birthday. We beat the entire game in a day. It was so much fun. Andrew played as Scott and I played as Ramona, and you go through each of the levels, which are all like scenes that you will recognize from Scott Pilgrim if you're a Scott Pilgrim fan. And each level, at the end of each level, you have to defeat one of the evil X's, and there are different endings that you can get for the game based on who is the first player in the game that you're playing. So since Andrew was player one and he was Scott, we got Scott's ending, but I would be curious to see the rest of them. But it was a lot of fun. Andrew was making fun of me because every time that we play a video game, he's like very much about beating things and I'm very much about collecting things. So we would be like in fights and people would be like coming to attack him and he would need me to save him, but I would be like, hold on, I need to get this money first. And he would be like, I'm gonna die. And I would be like, but this money is gonna disappear. But it all worked out. We beat it. Everything's good. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend this game. I would definitely play it again. I think if you're a fan of the comic series or of the movie, it's something that you would definitely enjoy and is totally worth checking out. I'm really excited that it got re-released because it was unavailable for like so long. So this was like a big deal. And then the other game that I played this month, which is like I'm pretty much just gonna talk about every single month, I think, just as I used to do in the past, and that is Animal Crossing. So I'm still very invested in Animal Crossing. I just completed a full island redesign and I love it. I think it came out so perfect. It's really cute, and I'm still working on some of the rooms in one of my houses. That's right, I have 2 houses. And once I finish, I think I want to do an Animal Crossing Island tour. Let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. But either way, I think I'm going to make it because I'm interested in it. So, and I've been trying to collect every item in the game. I want to like complete my catalog. The one thing that I know I'm not going to get everything of is the villager photos, obviously, because there are so many villagers that I do not want on my island. They are not welcome. I did get a villager photo the other day from Sherb, who is my favorite, and that was like really exciting. Oh yeah, so I use the acnh.guide app in order to like catalog and keep track of everything that I need. And I only need 1 more Celeste recipe, 4 of the cherry blossom recipes, because I started playing the game a little bit late and then I didn't totally understand like the intensity of my addiction. I wasn't like fully there when the cherry blossom season was happening, but now I'm like cursing past Kristen, but it's coming back around soon, so I should get those soon. I need those 4 DIYs, and then I want to say there are like 14,000 items in the game, and I'm currently at like 10,500 items, so I'm like making my way there. I just ordered new amiibo cards so that I could get some of my dream villagers now that I've learned all of the reactions and I don't have to have as much of like different personalities on my island. But that's my Animal Crossing update, so hope you enjoyed that. And then moving into some of my monthly favorites. So the first thing that I'm going to mention is the NPR Up First podcast. I really like this podcast because I hate reading and watching the news, and there's been so much that has been going on in the world that it's kind of irresponsible to not read and watch the news. So I found the NPR Up First podcast, and I really like the format. It's only a 15-minute podcast, and they talk about the top 3 news stories of the day and kind of give you the highlights of everything. It keeps you informed about what's going on without kind of overloading you and sending you into like a doom scrolling spiral in the way that has happened in the past. And in January, we just had so much going on in the world, like we still do. But I found that this has just been a really good way to like keep on top of things. I was gonna say without getting overly stressed out, but no, I'm pretty stressed out about the state of the world. Then moving on to some fun things. One of my favorite things that I got this month, which I actually got a lot of compliments on in my book haul video, is this dress, which is an Animal Crossing dress that I got from Black Milk. I'm not sure if you can really see the Animal Crossing things. It's very subtle, but I just think that it's such a pretty color. I like how it pops. I think it's really flattering. It's really comfortable, and I'm definitely gonna be wearing this a lot. Then I finally managed to hit the timing right, and I got one of the Sailor Moon ColourPop palettes. So I did get a bunch of the lip gloss when it was first released, and I also got the blush, and I think I might have gotten, I think I got glitter too, but I never managed to get the eyeshadow palette, and I was on the ColourPop website the other day and noticed that it was in stock, so I just was like, yeah, I need to get that. I'm actually wearing some of it right now in the video, but I just think it's so cute. And then it came in this little box, and I don't want to throw it out because it's adorable, but I don't really know what to do with it. And then just to show you, these are the colors that are inside. I'm wearing Tuxedo Rose on my eyes right now, but they just have such cute names like Miracle Romance, Luna, Moon Castle, Silver Crystal, Justice. I love it. Like, this is just so great. Then every single time that I'm like, okay, I'm done buying Funko Pops, there's not another Funko Pop that I could possibly need, Funko is like, oh yeah. And that happened this month. So I got this amazing pink Darth Vader that is holding Valentine's Day chocolate. I saw this and I was like, yeah, like, how could I not purchase this? This is absolutely amazing. There's also Valentine's Day versions of Chewbacca, but his eyes were really scary. Yoda, who didn't really love that design either, and a Stormtrooper that I'm still considering ordering because I did like that one a lot too, but Vader was like the one that I couldn't let go, so I ordered right away. It actually also says join the heart side on the base, which is just so cute. Then I mentioned that Andrew and I did a puzzle on New Year's Eve, and we did this puzzle, which is a New Yorker puzzle, and my dad actually got this for me for Christmas 2 years ago, and I've been meaning to do it, but we've obviously have time at home now, so this seemed like a good way to ring in the new year. And I'm very intense about puzzles. Andrew likes kind of casually doing puzzles, and I'm like, if you're not fully focused on the puzzle, like, what are you doing? There's a puzzle that needs to be done. So depending on your puzzle attitude, I might not be the most fun to do puzzles with, but I really like them. So this is a 1,000-piece puzzle, and we started doing it on New Year's Eve, probably around like 7-ish o'clock, and we finished doing the puzzle by New Year's Day around 3-ish o'clock with a small sleeping break in there. I really just like love the design of this one too, so it's still completely put together on our kitchen island, and I'm planning on getting one of those things that lets you like keep a puzzle together, and then I really want to frame it because I just think it's really pretty. Then I've really been missing New York City desserts. It's been so long since I've been able to like actually go to a place to get something. I have ordered some things to our apartment here and there, but it's even been a while for that because our schedule has been a little bit unpredictable. But I ended up getting a Japanese ube cheesecake from Keki's Modern Cakes for Andrew's birthday, and it was so good. I've had this cake in the past with Alexa and Rachel, and Andrew loves cheesecake, so I was like, this is definitely the thing that we're getting for his birthday. It was really, really delicious. We ate it pretty quickly. It was packaged really funny. I ordered it on Goldbelly, but it was delicious and like looked fine and tasted great, and that's really what matters most. Then I got the most adorable journal ever. I got this from Rifle Paper Co. and I love it. I've been using it to plan YouTube videos, which is something that I would normally do digitally, but it's been really nice to write things down. I'm kind of using this for more like long-term videos and things that I really want to film once the pandemic is over. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun for brainstorming, and I just love the design. And honestly, probably what sold me on this notebook is the spine. I love that there are flowers on the spine. I just think it's so darling. I was really excited when I found this, and I was like, I mean, yeah, I'm getting that. Then I probably should have eaten these already, but I just couldn't bring myself to because they're too cute. And that is the Navarro Nummies macaroons. So William Sonoma actually made these, and one of our friends sent them to Andrew and I for the holidays, and I was like, these are so great. I just love them so much. And I just like, there's actually no date on them for when they should be eaten by or anything, but like, I don't know if I can eat them because I just love them. Like, I just like looking at them. Then one of my favorite bookish t-shirt companies came out with some new designs, and she released one for Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is one of my favorite books ever. So I obviously had to get that right away. It is this t-shirt here, and it says history, huh? And I just thought that was so cute, and it's just like very subtly red, white, and royal blue, and I love it. Then I got this amazing candle on sale at Anthropologie. So it's this like really cute little pink house, and I would really love to live in a pink house eventually. I don't know if it's gonna happen. But I sure wish that it would. I just think this is so cute. The candle inside, so this like top comes off, and it's actually like a 4-wick candle, and it smells so good. It smells like Christmassy, like it smells kind of like a Christmas tree, but it's also a little bit citrusy, and then also like a little bit cinnamony. Love it. And this is gonna be a decoration that I use forever. I kind of want to like keep it out year round just because it's so pretty, and I think I might do that. And I think that's everything finally. So I hope that you guys liked this. This is definitely a new kind of video for me, but I had a lot of fun making it and a lot of fun talking about the things that have been making me happy. I'm excited to keep doing them. But that's all that I have for this video, and I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!